Try to go back to that at the end of this class so I can get through this quickly. To whom all the glory of Adam shall belong. That's like in the Damascus document. Also their seed forever. And so on. They will be kept alive and shall not perish through famine and plague. And all those who love the Lord. Line 20. The kingdom of prayer for those who love him. They will be the pride of his pastures. The congregation of his elect. The church of his elect, the assembly of his elect. When you see congregation, you can read assembly or church. Like smoke they shall vanish. Interpreted this says the princes of wickedness who have oppressed his holy people and shall perish like smoke. The Maccabees? I doubt it. Then more. Interpreted this concerns the assembly of the poor who shall possess the poor. That's about the fifth use of the word poor in this document. And twice in the Habakkuk one. And the word is Ebianim. And the portion, they shall possess the high mountain of Israel and shall enjoy the delights of his sanctuary. And now we have cut off, and they shall be cut off. Those who shall be cut off are the violent nations and the evil ones of Israel. Cut off twice and blotted out forever. This concerns the priest, the teacher of righteousness. So there it identifies both of them. Who builds a congregation or assembly, we don't know, it's broken. Finally again, interpret this concerns the wicked priest, who rose up against the teacher of righteousness, that he might put him to death, because he served truth and the Torah, and therefore he laid hands on him. So the wicked priest took the righteous teacher, like in the Habakkuk commentary. But God will not abandon him to his hand when he is tried, but rather God will pay him his reward. Third document with that in it. By delivering him into the hand of the violent ones of the nations. Yes, the violent ones of the nations, the Idumeans, who take vengeance on the priests, the last priests of Jerusalem in the war, that they may execute judgment upon him, the judgments upon wickedness. Well, I know what that pesher means, as clear as can be. And you put that together with the Habakkuk pesher. Let's look at another famous pesher. I got to go quick here so I finish up so you have everything you need. Nahum. Now the first part of Nahum is about some storm thing that really wasn't in the original text but has been added to it. I'm going to skip that. It's a whirlwind, but obviously against evilness. The second is a column talks about the lion's den. A dwelling place for the ungodly of the nations. I assume the Herodians, but I don't know. This is a very controversial pesher here about lions and lion cubs. Interpreted, this pesher concerns Demetrius, king of Greece. That's the first person mentioned by name. That's an historical character that we can point to here. Demetrius, king of Greece. All the scholars say, yes, you see, Maccabean period, this is when Demetrius tried to come in the country, and the people originally, the Pharisees invited him in, and Alexander, they didn't like Alexander and Ananias, but then finally they didn't like the fact that the foreigners were coming in, so they went over to Alexander and Ananias. You read all that, right? In the Jewish war. Right. Who sought on the counsel of those who seek smooth things to enter Jerusalem. Okay, seekers after smooth things? Darshe halakot instead of halachot. Seekers after halachot are the Pharisees. They seek legal traditions. Seekers after smooth things are play on halachot. Halakot, smooth things, which means we have contempt for your traditions. This group is anti-Pharisaic. Okay, it's like the New Testament to some extent is. And this is why, though. But God did not permit the city to be delivered into the hands of the kings of Greece from the time of Antiochus, that's clearly Judas Maccabee's time, until the coming of the rulers of the Kittim. The Kittim come after the Greeks. The Kittim come after both Antiochus and Demetrius, and then come the Kittim. This is written after the coming of the Kittim, looking backwards. until the coming, so the Kittim come after the Greeks come. They are the Romans. But then she shall be trampled underfoot. Okay, now the furious young lion, he tears great men by the means of his counsel. The furious young lion takes vengeance on those who sought smooth things and hung men up alive, a thing never done formerly in Israel. Because a man hanged down upon alive on a tree, he says, behold, I am against you, saith the Lord of hosts. Well, what can we say about that? Well, clearly the furious young lion is Alexander Unias. Okay. But they're looking back on him. They don't dislike Alexander Unias. They don't like the seekers after smooth things. But they disapprove of what Alexander Unias did to the seekers after smooth things, who we know are the Pharisees. We have it in Josephus. He hung them up alive because he thought they were traitors supporting the entry of Demetrius into the country. And later on, remember, the Pharisees took vengeance on Alexander Unias' people, and then when Pompey stormed the temple, the Pharisees killed more of Alexander Unias' supporters than anyone else, or the Maccabean supporters and so on. This document is written after the Romans come, and it knows its history as well as anyone else. And what it is doing is citing its opposition to crucifixion. It says, you know, we don't dislike Alexander Unias. We dislike the people he hung up. But we don't like crucifixion. Why? Because in the Roman period, it was used so promiscuously. And Paul picks up this passage here. A man hung upon a tree. Paul goes into that for more about his saving, the way of looking upon the saving death of Jesus Christ. That he took our sins upon himself and so on. But a man hung upon a tree is cursed. He says, well, a man hung upon a tree isn't cursed. It's a curse to hang a man upon a tree. But Paul moves it around. I have it in my New Testament code. I don't have time to do it here. But in any case, this is referred to here and in the Temple Scroll. And in both places, the Dead Sea Scrolls are against hanging a man upon a tree. But the curse is in hanging the man up, not in, being cursed because you're on the tree. As Paul will develop it in Galatians. So they're all in the same view here. You'll have to look at it to satisfy yourselves. Anyway, that's more about the wealth of the last priests of Jerusalem here. Notice part 2, the messengers among the nations. Messengers are apostles.